yɛbɛdi nkɔmmɔ afa ɛne Ghana sɛdeɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɛkɔ sɛdeɛ ɛhwɛ anim sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɛkɔduru ɛne me ne mmienu nyinaa no deɛ yɛbɛtumi contribute for the forward march of Ghana. Mamema, former Deputy Minister Communications, and then KE, the short near the AAK, hopeful.
Abra,
hopeful. So Benya on the ticket of the NDC. Yen two abandoned, but were done in BBA. Say or Copessa and Pesana, so Ajitumi, Akudinado for one tea, or Dicam or Signano. Nimyan for a year, Felix Quachifu at Nasi. Or Bacoba.
Am I in na Edicano? Mamma Wasn't.
Yeah.
Say, NDC for a year branch in Penifua, a war Tiaqua, any Oboka, any Abeka, any Dumfa, any Ketiasi.
I do fact count.
I don't fuck count.
Hey, and the
I have a Menana, I will not be. Yeah, but I had a call. I was not a Pentecost Dickens.
Okay.
It's not called for Bompire.
Almighty.
Yeah. I want by Bobby and it's a very powerful offense. That should be honest, a beach or so. Which means a very powerful offense. I'm saying, my bomb basso. No mean as you much out. I'm said, now watching you and now you tell me. Minya a coba pro cacao, many penny folk could be in commodity drink. The Belfast Swama party no, a pejaw. Omina say, almost would you mediano. Na idea would you my paddy aboa Ghana. Until
you don't must that I just clarify for us. Not for the meetings or a full money.
Oh, my, he was a thought that I'm no seminal. I maybe my bro so do. Go home. Yeah, near my bro so do. And now I'm whole picture. No one say about food, you be a friend in Mim. A woman will be a confirmed for near be Eddie do be who feel. Into a toda nanny pebby, Ashada, Fasakwan, so a dada, a mouthful. Near 10 sound for near Buhu, you know, and young for near a NDC meeting. NDC, our national headquarters. Semeha Meninka, make us say we have the best national headquarters in Ghana for any political party. In fact, it's one of the best in South Africa, myself. Work on South Africa, cry ANC for national headquarters and 3 years. Inti say a person meeting, and yeah, na see we be pay meeting. Apart from the headquarters, and your other offices be or Ghana, afane na yet me meeting. Na picture who you know, a year Mpensenpensenmu na akọ a year Kane Bambo Ntemujineni, a year Ononyam for Lieutenant Colonel Larry Bevlo-Lati. Ne papa ka be beye bosumi mienu na bosumi etwemu no ana se bosumi ya hyese mpenimfo kɔ hɔ ɛkɔ ne yina ne fie no o ba bia wedua enobaye ne ade ade a wanhwe bɛka sɛ kwaye nti very green area kama pa nti otopono wɔ hɔ ma mpenimfo kɔtena ase edi efense nkomo kakra de bibi kakra kɔma no ntem sɛ ɛno no bi etwa ahomfoni a ɛbɛtɔ odwa amanfa kɔfa se yɛkɔ meeting hɔ na sabio ade ti yɛkɔ akɔtera owura mu aye meeting nti mesrɛ etiefo sorry ahwɛfo ɛne bankasa munyina sɛ saa mfoni no nya no krɛ ɛyɛ dipa bɔnefo bi a mesu sɛ yɛ MPP fo ɛna yɛ di sɛ adwuma no sɛ ɔmo yɛ aban a ɔmɛtene ɔmo ho ahwɛ ɔman no so atoto sikasɛm atete apansa mɛne no ɔmo nyɛ o ɔmo nam no ɔmo tata NDC wahu ɛna amafa koti kwan so ɛpɛ sɛ ɔmo record yɛ meetings ne ade na ɛnyɛ no po ɔman ma menka bibi nkyerɛw hwɛ ɛyɛ yɛ offices anase yɛ mpanimfo bi offices a ɛwɔ nkraman mu ha bɛyɛ bosome ɛnan ɛba bosome mmiɛnsa ni no ɛyɛ akrɔmfonwɛmfo akɔ hɔ ɛkɔtwitwa nsamfrɛ ne ɛfɛ sɛ ɛpono abɔ awuram akɔtu nneɛma ɛwɔ nyinaa egu minimum kra minimum mmiɛnsa ɛyɛ MPP sorry NDC mpanimfo bi offices a wɔn kɔdi sɛ adwuma no na wokɔ na akɔhwɛ a wotumi hu sɛ ɛyɛ national security operation complete abo ɛfɛ sɛ yɛkyɛ bie ne ho nti na ɛnyɛ mkwanwa sɛ ɔmo na mo bo sɛ ɔmo akɔ record bi ane ɛyɛ espionage na woni bibi hwɛ America mampani bi yɛfɛ no President Nixon wonim sɛ mpanimfo hwan na se akonya ɛma ɔno ankasa ɛde ndi medie to hɔ resign because ɔbɔ pa ɛma nipa bi ɛkɔ Democratic National Congress ɔmo headquarters senka ɔmo de bibi ɛkɔsie hɔ na ɔmo di nkɔmɔ a ɔmo ate saa asɛm no bɛtɔ odwa no ɛnam so ma yɛ impeach ɔmampani no ma ɔno ankasa resign nti sɛ yɛ ɔsiga na anim sɛ na party a ɔwɔ abɛn mu a ɔbɛhwɛ atoto nneɛma ama Ghana fo edi yie no ɛnɛ yato petrol mu bo a amanfo su no ɔnhwɛ o ɛna ɔnam no yɛ espionage no wi a obɛgyina pete mu aka sɛ esan say oma bagi office nti ye meet odiase ye meet odiase NDC for ye sha ase ye ya manyo se menye ne nti MB for ntumi hwehwa mi mfi ye headquarters de biara da ye bekọ so aye meeting ho na ye meeting na ye meeting ho ha ebe ye nti mesere ahwefo nyina se saa pictures obu hu ye no enye no kre say ye meeting bi aduase na e ya tro sem a MP before e pese omde dada
they talk straight to matters on the accident but and the dollar hon komo no nyina ye home ba kaka
oh ahome bi anim o ma ohene hwe say last me ba me ka kire wo say eye saa dollar sensem no omde temporary solution and aba eye insiseye a eno no ye nimanim ya na saa hyehyɛ no enche wo se be san agensem akọ ne dada mu adekunti ameka sa ne se eye bosia na omakọbọ bosia e na omakọbọ e na omode be so bibia no asa bosia no enye sika e betena yefutu sika e besia akọ ye frɛ no transit money ye de bi kotua ka na ye de bi support budget nti ye nche bi asa sika ne be fim efimu a obehun se dollar no ana cedi be san ate akofom bio de e be ma cedi no ya so anu preko pe ene de ebroni e frɛ no sealing the vulnerabilities eye ohawa na sinto e wo ho nti asidi no e te kofom no omu nyi mfiri ho ma me ma mfa to bi ate se ne me be hia me se o ma hine ne de me ni kapre o me ho to chembi bi no achem tu na Ghana cedis na me de sa tu na Ghana se ne didi e de bi ahwe me ho ne me
it solves
the temporary problem but e bia me ni adwuma ye nti me ni aketua bia nti se boso me so a esa se me ni aketua nti me sa akomeda dem nti o chance ba be sa tu na Ghana cedis biom nti wama me sika ma me de aso de boni fa ne liquidity challenge ese sika ye ni me ho no wama me bi de abo me ho but me ne me ho nti da no me ba ncha ba besere wama me bi ade se me buada nti sa me pe no maye
nti me de me ho anka bi adwuma kwanya bi
nti ese nka adwuma kwanya ba na se me sha se me ye adwuma na afi de me de me ho nti busu me bia me ye aketua nti hu hia se me ba ho
ba se wa ba sika se wa momu no ye nyina agitum se short medium long
da bi ho
so we are short in the interim no
we are short omahine so we are short na we are short na ese ehu clearly say we are medium term and you say hu say we are long term and say aka say okay da chi bia na ebenya hoje e wo sidia na ho de no
the long short nyina ne bosia
e short term pe no mo mu ni bibia in the medium or long term omo obi omo fa nto dwane nti omo obi a ese enya de eboni fe no unencumbered net international reserves just sika e ye de eti ya futu mu se ba ne se sidi no ahode ne te kofom na se pese de bi badwa so a ye de bi badwa so a affect de wo dada no eno ne ye ni bi enti na da no ye kobo bosia si ye de be so na asma make Dr. Badwam yankasa eka bi eye 4th August 2014 sa time na sidi no na hode aba fam ama ye kobo bosia bi nti ye ka se kobo bosia no e ma sidi na hode e hya ase se ye pija Dr. Badwam yankasa say a temporary solution na esan say ye nya permanent long term solution ti we na nya de a ese Ghana for any inti so abeye vice president na ye ntumi nyi sa hye yintum e ma ne nyi
a disco boy
wa be dia say message conference ya all over until obeka nti
na e me kasa makanza na
o ya double check ya do ba ko no ya
o constituency wo he e wo primary target nyame
enyo wo ni da fat meka papa wa so ni da fat meka
na kwa ba ya bu ne be yin bibia na me kwa so nyame na Adom good nkakrakra Ghana is working again
ebe and da rehosam by all means or dead soba akon biado nti Ghana fo Ghanaian citizens so say covert and overt means so what call pylons or transmit electricity may na use no cut.
But that's how heartless we are becoming.
Oh yeah, Raho.
Very heartless.
The ended up muhun pictures more social media. Mr. Wow.
Yeah.
We can do this to ourselves.
We can.
Because of what?
Well, that's one you should move eventually. That's how
say amambuno ehu. Me say my brother Felix. I say temporary measures. Minche wetifo na wona wo hwe na me pay na wenyamber kanka na wona wo sekuni na no card na Ghana fo na be achi T Felix short term measures in medium and long term program bia na one district one factory import substitution mechanism aban all rolling out across the country with private sector no on say China yeti yeka that look imports are as a country are dependent on the imports no affect yen exchange rate ana amongst others. Yes, it is important that say you are strengthening currency now. We have to produce what we consume, more of it. For the first time in several years, we didn't import maize in this country. Sikana kere kwa to Bruno. Huh? What has happened to it? Eurobond ye kwekeji na lambe. Ana Eurobond no aba.
Manoba.
Fantastic. So what has happened to the city? The currency no nye weak. Nenya politics yenfen ya anti. Say o gain is strength to cry temporary.
57 to 47 is not a joke.
Masa. Amai matnai me forex transactions every now and then. Me here dollar. Na me da ke foreign transaction. Samuto bibi wa manani na me here de ode mutu yakawa. Me city. Na me instruct my bank there transfer so much to purchase or pay for item krona may import and martin. Of course, we will use exchange rate on the day. Not what our transfers can. And if the exchange rate is higher, me city more no be use. So lower, then they will use less of my city. But situation I encounter no is purely fueled by some kaka na speculation and kofu war pressure about $1 they will keep. That's the problem. Panic. Saying kofu worker can. And now there's assurance there. All forex transactions, funds for what about finance, in here dollar a capital because there will be enough dollar in the system when you need it. Until people are selling their dollar back into CD because we realize that price of the ton one show 1 ton is 6 year abeden abobakau. Yet yen yanum NDC fu. Listen to your comments. They say yen nationalism, yen patriotic selves no, so we know. And they will be quick to refer to Dr. Baumia. Yes, Dr. Baumia, or yes, series of lectures.
You have a challenge with the referral to Dr. Baumia?
Challenge, yeah. Okay. But a kakape also equalization. Don't do equalization. Then they will be quick to do the same equalization. Dr. Baumia said, amongst other things, several factors are impinge on your ability, economic sustainability, economic fundamentals, including the exchange rate. In this year, exchange rate here occur 5.7 years, this year about 4.7. Is it to suggest that our economic fundamentals have all been strengthened? Obviously not. But key indicators have improved. Yet in a you guys were spending, according to you, so much money, yet our GDP was declining. Why? I thought that Dr. Baumia made reference to that. Clearly, Sikanu was not being injected in the economy because GDP or yet the total products and services are what on war a minimum and I go a year's war a minimum. The cumulative no constitute GDP. If you are injecting all that money, bossa what boy, reckless borrowing away, and you see 3 billion now yako yakajin. Amai, what is it for? I can get 2019 budget.
Yeah.
We as a country, you recognize there, yen total revenue, ne expenditure. There's a mismatch.
Big.
Yen revenue no on finance yen expenditure now. At every budget cycle, you approve a certain budget deficit financing. You guys consistently were exceeding it. Parliament, 5% over and above your revenue. No one fund finance budget deficit. You were doing 9, 10. in breach of the approved limits. Has it happened since Nana Akufo-Addo came to government? Omahine maybe so awesome. At the year breach budget deficit targets now, Parliament will approve Abanida. In fact, we do less. Into your catch on there, you people were borrowing recklessly. The statistics are there to show it. Has it happened today? But if Parliament approve there, look, finance your budget by a certain deficit amount. Now you get the euro bond, it about finance them shortfall now. You say we are borrowing. Your reps sat in Parliament and approved that budget. So how do you expect government to finance it? How? And yes, and we ought to take steps to generate this finance and development. Hence, the Bauxite Development Authority corporation that has been set up, Iron Ore Bill or the Parliament CCR. These are huge resources. Say exploiter. You fund the end development. So yes, there's money here. And so the long term and the medium term and the short term measures are all being rolled out by this government to ensure that you transform Ghana and achieve Ghana beyond aid within a decade.
Okay, so I am in love with your bit of submission, latter part, especially when you put in that the long term measures are being done.
Absolutely.
You have the bauxite,
medium term are being done. Yeah. 1 million per constituency, one district, one factory. Yeah. Private sector companies are springing up
so
within that program.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sometimes but then politics are.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We'll just continue it and move on.
Dr. Bawumia, Vice President, I say only Ghana for the deputy. A promotion is.
Yeah. Anyway, many in some working. When your friend platitudes, I ask some can be, and also can be. And also, but are we? I may want some most maybe in an and but my mentor some now can be sure. What you can? Us is a casafa or ye cedar now was an oracle from the Honda. Or ye Ada, what between wage and we be some affair. Or yeah, or that, my man, what friend nationalism and patriotism. Sabio, say, yen to me, there, Dr. Bawumia, son, and on your patriotic them. Now, on your nationalistic. Nanado, on your nationalistic, on your patriotic them. Look at that. Because, share, Abaco Samoho, in your man, Assembia work and then, no, and we, what Dr. Bawumia and some more can every day with you. Ghana for who can, they are banned, now what the 2 mission one sat. Now what the man is Cassam one sat. Na on Koya. Watch them when I drink. It is a gun and you be Shana Adrina. Ain't one can there on Doneman. Dr. Bawumia, Abraham Ojina platforms to do. Or can some more can. As soon as you gun and hold on now. And as already, or you're there. Or the best say gun and this someone to Tiana.
Or she's Cassam Kui.
9 years also your car. Your pedesca some no Kui in America. Share what CD now then obey for me. She knows when Sandra by Edo. Now, the penny will trim or 2 petrol mobium. And the oil 5.24 a gallon. What to pan room in Chetty. Bibiara was in Wagana, Hebiara Watum. Equal Goma. Oh, yeah, Mr. Murusu, that one towards in the man buy it. A monoball, walk or so, is some if you 120 Ghana cities or 160 Ghana cities. Inti, sitting now on the number former. Or affect Bibiara or can be Biara or Ghana. It is a Ghana for Waka. What's it can? Here and this for a Ghana for. So, if you are. On summer, Dr. Bawumia, okay, share hinty. You won't one day, ye be and some. When you see, he falsified economic theories. Sabin Peterson, Oda Kushi, as a far, or ye in Sambia, or ye sick as someone to twin Ojinado. Or the catch him. Wofum. There, if the fundamentals of your economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Or science okay, many say. There were other indicators. Oh, yeah, ascenso de fofra able to me na do yakade ebia o minus kasem no ye onon onjina o ye seed na ho ze nkoten do onya no kwa Dr. Bawumia nkasa okay o say probably the most important indicator of economic I'm quoting Dr. Bawumia but I'm not introducing probabilities me quoting say ya me speech natural them speech no man wo o ye Central University in 2014 okay o say probably the most important indicator for economic performance, your exchange rate. it is a aka some what dey na say ende aba bem na exchange rate no wa tete wa pansama ese me yanka ne ka ye unpatriotic importo sebio wontum o me ehye Ghana fo ahro badam ayende me bien either there Dr. Bami asem no ken no yakohwesem no redi in opposition and now ba bem no wa asesa na adwen nti ning na odi to gwa me yete na ontu me sesa na no wa bra wa ba egwa no da endema nkoyi dam ne ta ho mi so yare hwe no mra meye owo position kasa biara enyi wiazi ma wanka yade ade ne hye ne nsan wentuma ye bi papa biara me yehu de owonyimdi a no so owo nti nya kasa na obese bibi obese bi na adwen sisi adansi do owo nyi de wentum wanchechire oman wa bra ye de hye ne nsan oman sika sam wa aginsem obiara ewu de city oto we call 5.95 Ghana cedis at a point na what them aboni friend steroids oto de wutil pa na anum painkiller
95 be
o call 95 5.95 in fact when we online transactions that azo abochi na itua through online na e be 6.2 Ghana cedis
to the dollar
man make kire dem na okre na echi wa abaso because wa akobo bosembi and wa akobo bosembi o da abeshim nti ma on meji na ha no nka nkyere hin there are other indicators. Dr. Bamia said the most important indicator, the exchange rate. Exchange rate not too from crowd, the worst ever in our history. But it is conclusive evidence that Dr. Bamiana economic management team MPP one more home mountain. We need him Zibiara, the Mobeke share hand. My member has for Fobido. I say why a long-term solutions now ibinye one district one factory. O ma hin check there. What Beka share no be one district one factory. Yes, we catch on the low. Damase mo rekin no ho adanse di nyi ho won fa hye bia ngufu ma obekire de obotum aye ene waso obotum aye e ka de okafa map bi bre hin map bi na wo kire every district na factory oboko wo kan akan de o district bi o ha bi ekutu no ye dama eko ka ekutu ebu ohi nti wo be ye juice factory wo kan ya okado be ye dog meat factory nche kai
ye kabo
nti sapede ehun de wa ya o de fa de mo map ni na eko Ghana o ye Mpensenpensenmu biem na de toto mo kan no ho ma men kan the factories 10 po won see ma wa yenye de factories o order da won amafo wo factories o order da won na wo ko paint won wo de stickers wo de bobo ho do ye one district one factory
by a part of the direction
enya dam wo ka che Ghana fo e sha one manifesto ma
that relationship between an empowering private businesses and
wo friend stimulus package abra ye wa ba mu na ehu 5 major pharmaceutical countries companies be yama won 51 million Ghana cedis the one financial we do no one through
so your worry is the time
a
district no but not the content of what they are
doing. See, this one now, what's the stimulus or different from setting up a factory.
But that's what I'm saying. Who is stimulus there?
And now I say, I'm going to Casapreco factory. Casapreco, what's also Ghana or Yende? By 20 years in 20 years. Casapreco, what's it? Must be 20 years in. What's then? There's this Cacobondo one district one factory. Now I say, I'm a Penuco, no, Okada, a Yokapai, or your tile factory be no hotel. Damn tile factory, no order that. What's a crans or by God? Now also a one district one factory. Inti no quarrel meaning that them one district one factory 1 year. 1 to me ye because promising what was them and was a ye. One fancy shape beer and goof quando, Sabian periods and one dream one quachi, one dream who ye as worker into 1 year. As that was the bay into one and a number for factories, no other way but and I yet them and what can share Ghana for. Another than China, Mamma can be been show. I see economic indicators why ye. Share deficit this year, deficit of target of 4% will be exceed. A partial budget. Share extra budget no see the now on no cool for minute one ma ekawa ye no kra another 13 billion Ghana cedis abaka ho just because of exchange rate losses into anon or do wutia into only budget
see some no can hear listen to it well
that's
what when they would turn around and tell us that that's why 70 billion
no
expose yourself
no ask that question
abra ye wa ba mu ina Dr. Bamia sebio mempede me kan but no oza kohwi bi fa ekawa oye sika na yan ya anabosa na yan ya abo
that's not true
oh mami chiro mo e ka se ye di me port hwe ogina baby ka de ya abobosa $35 billion no ya kohwisem because them Ghana eka yen sika ekawa ye nyina aboma no $26 billion po but oye exchange rate depreciation no my cow no okay them also but issue ma yen ekawa ye ka Ghana ne kan wo ye 87 billion Ghana cedis in 8 years. Them exchange rate losses are making or a recent development awaba 13 billion awaba kan or a recent but or your euro bond ya wakaji kra $1 billion was the be ma boni friend rollover $2 billion are 11 billion Ghana cedis as of the time I walk about them busan wabeka ka no ho on what was the what the support budget mo kan wo eyini mo what the support budget what was the be kwan na ate but on additional borrowing on exchange rate no that about additional borrowing 10 billion on echi another 2 billion Ghana cedis are walk about busa what was the be Ghana Amalgamated Trust on also additional borrowing. Another 13 billion. There was the boss of banks do us, and honestly, additional borrowing on your exchange rate losses.
But we are yet to discuss GATT.
Remember, a couple months since here, and what was it 54 billion alcohol. A fee bokone by middle of this year, June, in the account was the 80 billion Ghana cedis was alcohol. 80 billion Ghana cedis.
Premised on what?
Mama body, share. You want the Awakaji into 3 billion. A couple months, 16.5 billion Ghana cedis. But 1 billion was a rollover on a kawa time as already and with the coach and on for being come. But $2 billion now I can 11 billion on Rebecca Kauno into 11 billion. Another 2 billion for GAT, honestly, additional borrowing. Just massive. In a 13 billion bia, what about the bossa there? What the boss of banks will collapse was in a 13 billion will become because of exchange rate depreciation in 20. About 80 billion. Now, say, make a exchange rate losses in Nenuaji. I'm exposing myself. Exchange rate, I have banana sudi. There, it was some, not uncle fum. It is a woman month, so you are in him, in ye, Suhuna, it's about to choose Casamna, exchange rate, no kufuma. Into Mekan German, then become my exposure. I our fault. I want a year in time. I don't work with them until you bear full responsibility. It's what my name. The most of one of my share. The music can make a man fat or $200 million or your GMPC. Work upon Bossa. Man fat about $300 million and come.
Okay, so then you're part of.
On upon come me in a ma wa Bossa between January and March on a young fan come. It's yes, so there. On time, I feel on Connery in a year Kawaii as Ghana, or 203 billion Ghana. Name. Mekan us here reckless borrowing. Now Dr. Bamia another clip is in Jamaica to the assembly and you are working in there. Dr. Bamia only one we abran over position. More the fat na some more king. Near the bachelor one. Ojina Parliament or 2016 budget and a king. Then here your boss idea my friend consumption. Consumption share and find share in Puntu Jumum. Into oil consumption. Now say a consumption related expenditure wa bra ko bosa or a sign of poor economic management. Bisan when you serious capital expenditure biara why out of them 80 billion you are making. Most of it you share them 13 billion or consumption expenditure. GAT 2 billion or consumption related expenditure. Yeah. Or the regular payments. That's what I say. And now finally in Arankan one work him. The Bosabo or the lazy approach to economic management. Into one more bossa, no Wuskawaha. Onangasan also, yes, I know Wakadu Wuskawa. I'm sure, BB. Share petroleum receipts in Cotin, Sika when you oil Mukotin over the last 2 years, or 6.8 billion Ghana cedis. It's $1 more, about $1.4 billion. In 2016, you have 711 or about $146 million. But in 2 years, when you have 6.8 billion. Say econo to China. Oya taxes keke. Last year we had $35 billion. Sorry, billion Ghana cedis. The previous year so we had 35 billion Ghana cedis. It come more 70 billion Ghana cedis. Only your tax revenue. Any year one bonifa non-tax revenue. Many if you cocoa na good na other exports. It is second in Aboma. We have over 100 billion. Then che wotu modi ye bibi. Nche won onye do ko sapo. But ningi na won tumu fan chere ha da oda ye. E catch on the aba major hospital why on tumu kan chere.
But be fair, when you arrive at those conclusions that government has always been continuous. And clearly there are some hold on. There are some contraja NDC amanyuko meba. Modem nsako shisha sia. Na ho insi ho no wasn't that healthy for the country. But we had no choice at that time. Hold on, meba. Mama sure bibi. Answer wa bem hwe oya kohwese ma wodi. Wodi because woba abemu wo hu amambu nenyu odo. Omampanyin akufo ogina platform do kede oya rate hospital. Ye inflating by $142 million. Oba abemu nye ne third year mu no we. We too much adanse dibi abotugwa. The masam okay no kwat. Ogina platform do biom.
ka de kaswa interchange ye inflating oba abem 3 years or the others be aba them inflator coins what can want na mo hin way to what that's a group aba ho a wa so binum
okay
enti the mark is some dey tomorrow on ye
legit question because one of the things I'm also going to buy and say Keta value for money and all those things today in government you are explaining to us for young citizens saying because in your case it's a different thing that is happening. What's the situation? What's happening?
Corruption related issues no oyaza within our own circles some and it's worrying because look Jida was not made up Ubia make Jida up these are facts Sada katasiso shaho nyame na wo ne yeka wasam we didn't make it up yan shedem yan konjo monies that were paid to Woyomi create, loot and share was not made up. Buzz branding was not made up. Obia and Dako Hisam. Double salaries was not made up. So we ask ourselves,
then you
why
feel,
action not being taken?
You failed us. You failed us.
Well,
on that score, you failed us.
The assurance, Yenya, there's no expiry to the prosecution of the Mpensenpensenmu. In any event, you need to build a docket strong enough at the Boko court.
So you hit it right.
A prosecute. In saying now you are regime, because Maso as a member of the party, because mo constituents mo will be some that now coffee in some PD
yeah.
About to go during their own era. President Mahama himself, Jifa Tibo Bas Brandon, Attorney General, recommendations that the woman should be prosecuted. Nothing happened. The docket is still sitting there. And so, and I'm hopeful that within the course of this year, you will action in that front. Nagana Fu there. And you'll be no make it happen. Some see, look, share. Ridge Hospital. How many beds? Felix Badwam, 240.
420.
420. Fantastic. How much did it cost us?
Okoste 250 million.
250 million. Yet Kroma during the time we had Dangote has built a hospital, 1,000-bed hospital in Nigeria for less. And see, you see, if we say that some of these things were overbloated, I mean, now we that documentation be over and na to make a build the case against people that clearly
a party full of lawyers just don't talk.
You see,
a party full of lawyers, they just don't talk.
Some American say, etum hu there, adi moderate we punch wom, but Okotobo Yasano, nenyi economy be able to demonstrate the punches or a good punch another or a criminal punch. And see, I am sure that that is what we find ourselves in respect of some of these allegations of contractor.
Who clearly say a fad, you know. That's
the situation. Because roads in Yagana continue away. Hospital, Yagana continue was hospital. Contracts are award across the world. You go online, you will see it.
But the expenditure,
kilometers of roads.
Expenditure, roads, quite be how your rocks are hold meet you road in a quite be on my a whole
but was it second? Rocks are here or but if you compare circle to other interchanges across the world, price or cost the circle with those ones it tells you clearly that there's a problem. The rocket science.
So the problem is just hanging because you cannot pinpoint.
That's the problem. Problem meaning, but you compare two prices in two different countries over equivalent projects, and you see clearly that
is too much.
Airports we've seen the prices of Ethiopia and all those places. What are they? See the ones that we have here. These are matters of fact. But how can you pinpoint the wrongdoing? Because of evidence. Now, say, Felix, I didn't mean to call TV3. He will be fine. We'll make statements here. I wonder where they are whether what's a chroma ha. Abana we clean up messa ekreti. Your incompetence, I admit it there. Look, we sit in this country. You people told us that we are economically challenged, and now we have you. In the Senchi, a homegrown policy, we'll never go to IMF. Okay, do you remember?
Yeah, Senchi, yeah.
After how many months after Senchi, they walk to IMF? Going to IMF for policy credibility was a clear admission of failure on economic management front. What has happened today?
Exiting.
Australian.
Good performance.
Fantastic. This is fact on the ground.
But you are unable to arrive at that conclusion. On paper, that is what you are thinking. But the reality on the ground.
I'm a paper.
But
based on what
the exit of IMF doesn't all is well.
I haven't said so. I haven't said so. I'm saying there, what G2 themselves admitted that we can't manage the economy on our own.
Correct.
What have we done? IMF have more conditions that you have to meet. At certain point, you can negotiate that, hey, this one, waive it, and all that. But successful completion would have met key fundamental indicators. Go read IMF one report 18 months after they are managing the economy on behalf of the NDC. Go and read it. They did not meet any of the benchmarks. Read the IMF's own report 18 months after Akufo-Addo government. Go and read it. Now, what can us say economy hiding? Debt to GDP ratio in your time. What was it?
Feeling it tough.
Oh, Bob said there was no tomorrow. Look, see,
tough.
I'm a feeling tough.
The feeling times tough.
No, I don't have a problem.
Times are tough.
No,
so the indicators, let me probably in a particular quotation, your indicators, your pointers, your indices might be correct. But the feeling might be wrong. Down there.
Might be wrong, no. Or children. I say, pan no back or Isam no back or in 2009, when they took over government, how much was the price of Isam? How much was it? How much was a bag of cement? How much was it? In the MPP bed, now I'm made some do from 0 Ghana cedis to 20 Ghana cedis. You took it from a point. Through your mismanagement, it has gotten to a certain point. Of course, inflation and all other factors will happen. But the rate with which it goes up, we tell them every time, won't say, is what determines your competence in managing the system. What are we talking about? From Kwame Nkrumah time, prices of goods and services have been going up.
Percentage increase.
Absolutely. But the rate, inflation, exchange rate depreciation, in your time, 26 months, you did 45% depreciation of the city in 26 months. When you came to government, but discount Professor Mos, Mr. Mahama, 45%. We have done 14% in 26 months. Yet, you sit here and say you are more competent than us. Look, Ebakaya, Dr. Baumia, at all times when he was speaking, I say, if you look at the debt in dollar terms at the time that it was taken, Ekaya, at the time of borrowing, now how much has been generated in terms of goods, services, projects. And when I got one so-called green book, I compute the cost of projects now, it doesn't match up to
what is it?
Absolutely. At all times, he was discounting the exchange rate and relating the project to the dollar at the time. Do a reverse today and tell me whether those figures that they are bandying about, the Nana Akufo-Addo number is what is actually the situation. At every time Bank of Ghana were one publication in terms of the total debt stock, they look at the debt of the CD equivalent of the debt today. if you look at the various components, you actually see how much government has borrowed to finance the budget. What it is that has been accrued in terms of exchange rate, all those things go into computing the total debt. Yet you hear them say, you hear them say that about 70 billion. We haven't seen what they have done with it. Yet within that amount, it's exchange rate differential. On your scale, but by reason of the fact that Sydney depreciate, your debt would go up. But if you look at the dollar term, the dollar amount of data is practically the same, except the incremental. So that's why Dr. Baumia always was making references to that. Yet, look, we are on track. We are on track. There are issues. I agree. Okay. Issues. So I go to my constituency. I speak to people. There are issues. This one. But if you look at the things that we have done, the stability that we brought to the economy, IMF exit, we can only get better.
Okay, we are getting better.
But and compare the two governments. These people don't come anywhere close.
Okay, but that's not for you to say. But I'm saying,
you have
the right.
Why are you saying that?
You have the right. But that comparison, the arbitrators say, yes,
many problem.
We saw that question. There's always a comparison.
Many problem.
But admit you said the MPP probably in his position. You were too loud.
Never. Truthfully, the Ghanaians expect more from us.
Okay.
That's the truth.
All right.
Look, Mama show me. Mama face, oh, you can have the rest of the time. No problem. The truth is there. All the commitments that we made, we are in the course of achieving them. Okay. Oh, young Kofu free. There were 4-year mandate.
It's not 2 years.
I compare MPP 2 years in office, 2.5.
Okay.
Against NDC's 8 years.
At the point in time, the argument is 4.
No. It was for a purpose. I made discount it, Professor Mills, no party.
Okay, so you're going to see Felix. You get the opportunity to come back.
Go on.
And some pin are working. Fana Yakuism. With a greater respect. What shall I say from Dr. Baumia?
I'm allowed because in the fancy language, I appreciate very much.
The Marquis, what shall I say for Dr. Baumia? I'm putting it on record and the Uzaku Shifa, a Kawana, yet. The same exchange rate differential are all can and are all affecting him so. But Dr. Baumia can de ya bobosa. Into Oyakoshisem, he overstated our debt for partisan purposes. Or yet them because of our 70. Messi, say a computer, Bosa in Yazakam or 87 billion Ghana cedis in 8 years. In 2 years, was 80 billion by the middle of this year. Mama, or Yesika, Waka the Dinning and marketing in Abumacho, Mobwa. Into Menka Bibia on Yanokar. Or my 87 billion in Mutro challenge to honor so pa in the next 10 minutes. My Yankwanian was sector by sector. Abana, why you be pa? Messi, they don't have a single major capital expenditure to show for them 80 billion our carbon. When you be in an ever health, yet the hospitals are or the additional 6,000 beds.
But you're fair to ourselves.
Maybe fairness, yet the 107.9 million barrels of oil production capacity a day come. What by water?
That's where you move from 57%
to 76%. About that housing, about down coupon waste since
they have 4 years to go.
I don't know, say 1, 2 years. Why are this in 8 years here? Until they have 4 years to go. Imagine, my fan home back. Bronyisi, we will carry out a surgical legislation. Chede, Oyada, say, Oye, box in the air bar, and she about Browana, my own 2 months.
The NDC.
When ye about Semu Biara was about to end this one. And I'm to challenge the upper the next 10 minutes. Young compare sector by sector in terms of what has been achieved. About our education. Free apart from consumption related expenditure. But education on your free SHS or how and or Ghana. Just as I'm making communication about no war.
Come again. Free SHS.
Messi, free SHS. Oh yeah, it's your fees my offer. Oh yeah. But in your no penny or how other year do what at assume more your basic school in your tertiary education in your technical education so into isolate into me ye SHS pe then can there or no penny da or how I don't Ghana ha into say eh you na in ye biara but I'm telling you there them record they said 2 years one when you say we will blow them out of water when you back mu biara they are the worst performing government sector by sector na bia wa 280 now, that's why 41, 14% achievement. It's about 2 years. It's more fun on Pumba. But I'm come out some do. Share. I could some work. I'm in the bin agent show. I say at the Kunta Walker, the Rage Hospital inflated, and the down with take see 1,000-bed hospital when Nigeria could some down with it. Only 1,000-bed hospital when Nigeria. More than there. On Mexico, the one for NCSC 12 theaters were existing hospital in Nigeria. And now Obo Bubi, also $20 million. Them no cost it. It's a honor or announce that obesity 1,000-bed hospital later. And now what the Mazin will be Zakushi was the share in there. Then we take you see 1,000-bed hospital for $20 million. A pa Google the Massaman, won't do Yakushi some. Unfortunately, one journalist Bisu will repeat the Massam without cross-checking. Into Oman, a pa. I mean now, no, young Nigeria, non catch them, then 1,000-bed hospital was in $20 million.
My already young quay.
That's why I could some. But I could some first of all, there is at the depot, but there is the hospital better, at least for pictures better, not change contract documents, what $20 million. What they, I say, projects have been inflated. Now, projects you inflated, now better now be 3 years, no 2 minutes, and 2 months. Are you not a hopeless government? They didn't have been down there inside the card masterman. Share, I see, Jida Suba, or my Jida, oye opinion bi a wofo na Abuga Peli President Mama na o hwe mo di na trial the margin na akufo on to me bi da I'm putting it on record here then anado on fa MPP ni in cage na court da he will never do it on to me yet but o mampanyi Mama ye nti se hwe mampanyi na okon auditia proe na keta sesha oye President Mahama onye na akufo ado na akufo ado abaze na oye wada na ho clearing agent ina se 9.6 se sabi owo zo man ni sika na wa clear ho eyi Cambon the be hwe Cambon can read strategy reports also finance minister he breached multiple rules governing bond issuance $2.25 billion na occur them Cambon that him them cash for seats waka did this $100,000 from businessmen one better man penyin nchen abra parliamentary hwe them asem mu one way yipo no man penyin o clear obiara there bibiara ensi na them asem ko on kesi hwe them no kutia point get asisha hwe metro mass transit 5 million Ghana cedis ke dibi krodo wo up to date
it's been investigated.
Oh 2 years investigation when in 2 years
investigated.
One year ho hwe o man
it's been investigated.
Papa na dem asem ne ben wa mo market na fie din
it's been investigated.
he is not being investigated.
Special prosecutor is in charge of
man can special prosecutor po Messi dem metro mass transit sikedi na okrodo one year ho hwe
special prosecutor
o man hwe Ghana Maritime Authority sikedi okrodo wo ho no abaze na wa ye wo ho Papa Nancy yet was with the system to retirement. 1 year won she. Oye Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company board no was in some two there. One chief executive. One chief executive. Where this kebi. O man penyi oyi board no momedi na oji chief executive netina ho. Njata say. Oji chief executive netina ho. Ono danche na premix wo wi Ghana fu wo sika 22 million Ghana cedis. Minister net wo. Nothing has happened. It is a Shabana also saw pro and a catastrophe or an Akufo Naban. Apart from that, your family and friends are all codo. On my opinion, about 60 relatives and friends and known associates were being. You go to a backup and catastrophe, no one's a match.
Okay.
That's my say. The mother of the mom, because of Yakushi, Mr. Dangote, only 1,000-bed hospital for $20 million. Or misleading reports. And what baby? The master, I looked.
You followed up.
Madam Ketchel, I was deputy communications minister. What can Yakushi? I took time to research and go through it. Or your theaters not refurbishing or costed them, no announcing. It's a message. Say we see 1,000-bed hospital. Offer them hospital and bed checking.
Okay.
But my member must have no debut. Ebium okasa also IMF yakro IMF na on the shede yamode mo nso enwa hwe answer na omampanyi mama 2014 odi yabokwa IMF in Ghana previously yakọ IMF 16 times
Okay, so the checks here, richest man in Africa to build a 1,000-bed hospital in Nigeria, Aliko Dangote, is not blameless. So he goes on, it says he is also a philanthropist who plans to spend some of his money constructing a new 1,000-bed facility in Nigeria. This incredible gift of health will be the largest such facility in the northern state of Kano, to be named the Maria Sanusi Dantata Ultra Modern Theatre Complex. The new hospital will be situated near a wing of the Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital in Kano. Dangote made the announcement on Tuesday while laying the foundation for a 12 million theatre and diagnostic complex, which his charity organization, the Dangote Foundation, is also building.
It's 12 million or 1,000 bed hospital.
So it means that it was for the theatres.
Exactly. IMF. Ansana here yaboko IMF 2014 in Ghana previously yako IMF 16 times. IMF enya independence in yakro Kwame Nkrumah odi nkro IMF. But na yako je IMF mboa 16 times. IMF program ya 16 times before omampanyi mamodi yakro 2014. But yakro IMF 2014 epa hwe I have it on record Dr. Baomia Owura Osafomafo na onunyamfo akoto say won nyinara wogina pete mo ken they will review the IMF program wo betwe won ho afi ho wo ben wo extending by 2 years or then or in 2017 because no a 3-year program onye program na otena wa afebo yakro for just 3 years until whether we empower or not we are going to leave and now one be already yakro 2017 we extending to 2019 April.
Okay.
It's I done na be jina na catch me there.
Mami.
Yeah.
And can kind of the text messages about.
What's one we see? Oh, me man see. Man maybe some more. Hey, me some more. Last one your debt computation or here.
Yeah.
Enti one na what extended. Said you into mun kan jam there ichi oye prekonam. Na what the prekonam ye nkwa na. Asesa anomni me. Say ichi IMF extended by 1 day po. Na one can there. What be waji at least $180 million in penny bill. Inti kabuma almost $400 million waji. Oh no, I papa waji. Say IMF Oma into a budget $400 million or
All right.
Finally, all your debt computation already. My music can show there. My can show there. Dr. Baumia, in some or kind fa a kawa and abosa ni abono ya kushisem. Or your exchange rate differential no jina do the catch in the hand abosa $35 billion. It was an absurd falsehood. At the muta make do absurd in your day. Intum in the cow and sin. And I into mobile science in the kawa ete. Say the cow 26 billion Ghana cedis since independence. Or then you have $35 billion in 8 years. Or you know so but say bosa ya boy biara we can account for it both in terms of capital expenditure and a consumption related expenditure. Normally consumption then or your local offending domestic borrowing in a consumption. But above fiscal the catch by the capital projects. Me say on share him. At least 10 major capital projects are. What the Sikana, what Bobosan, what I I'm also about 20.
Samuel Brian Boaben say Felix is struggling to defend their incompetent regime like the way he's speaking. I have nothing more to add because lawyer Mesa has said it all. Samuel Brian Boaben and Akase. And this one also says that Julius Agahoha, he has a challenge with parliamentarians that no minute observance.
No, I'm here. I'm asking.
And then
me defend, but just a minute because me defend the parliament. I'm the hand to bet you. On the them question now, them you know the statement that we did about confirm on the parliamentary procedure. I did the question called before as a speaker admit. It was called last week. Them time now in Tampa Assembly. Into speaker admit na say reader into munkafa before from membership.
Okay.
I admit there bia wo botu ncha wa ye before I be the matter bia 1 minute silence be. But reading them speeching over New Zealand assembly means the ya bond them. But of course you can read it.
But to the ordinary Ghanaian, yeah, we respect the processes of parliament.
Honestly.
But it's quite sad.
Honestly.
That's how, because if you're uneducated in matters that goes on in parliament, on the surface we feel that Ghana is always number 1 above any other country. So we also feel not let's pursue assassination for once. The member of parliament, what he's saying is not correct. Okay. Do I also say Kenofurata is taking millions of dollars to his bank from the Eurobond he takes for us? Since, okay, well, I don't get where you're coming from. And then Apostle Salasi Adai says that my question to the MP is, if all this is good on paper, why is it not reflecting in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian? The Ekwaba, Eba, Obi-Wan, Apostle. Oh my goodness. Lots of your text messages. But Sampine, so did the about say, isn't it weird and amazing when people who have been in power before continue to tell us all revenue should be used for physical infrastructure? Who pays for the scholarships of our nationals, the subsidies of our schools, consumables in the hospitals? Incompetence exemplified by the NDC. And Deep Cool so writes that at Wa traffic light, you can lie all lies in the world to win political power, but time will definitely expose you, Mr. President. And he greets he greets Felix and Bunas. Okay, so that's also what you have. And AU Farouk writes, good morning. The solution to the campaign on our highway is for government to intensify public education for our drivers. OPK or GOS also, and so do Adeba say, Nanado and the MPP are making Ghana work again with their good governance and fulfilling their promises. And once and I know so. Lots of your text messages. Another one also gets through here is from Guy G, and it's too long to read. Kwabna, proper drivers do not certify themselves, but the state declares them as such through its vetting agency, DVLA. Is this agency fit for the purposes though? Is it not easy for individuals to acquire licenses by greasing palms? That's from Guy G, US of A, and also the way about. And another one gets through here. It says that the MPP is on course arresting the city Walanyo and Adeweyaba. Dr. Alex Nyakon, formerly of Dankwa Institute. The Felix is looking. Kingsley, they be yeah, okay.
A good friend of
Felix is looking good, but his analysis is suspicious.
Very predictable.
Good morning to you, Mesa. Good show, Doc. Okay, so Doc, thank you so much. Also, you made not correct as well behind the scenes. Thank you so much. Your report, because I come 10 minutes. Be. Yanko. I can't make okay.
Website.
So we're wrapping up.
Yeah. Dangote Foundation Rehabilitate Specialist Hospital with 20 million.
Rehabilitate.
Naira.
20 million naira.
Them theaters now. Rehabilitation.
Yes.
Dangote to build $12 million 1,000-bed hospital in Kano. These are
read
full
story.
Internet.
Read full story.
Read the full story.
Read the one about there.
It says here, Dangote to build 1,000-bed hospital with 2 million naira.
How?
No. It's all there.
How?
2 billion. 2 billion. It's all there. To suggest there somebody is lying. You see, remember?
Why are you repeating the false?
Not your person, but he says that those online stories, when he fed up with research. But I have not done that. The production team.
What was the fact? Read full story. You will see that it is in the
production team. Story is
okay, no problem. No problem.
$12 million 1,000-bed hospital.
We'll check and check again and see.
Okay,
Felix,
let's go.
The talk of Obi Dako Hisam in our politics. Let's depart from it. Because Obian challenged Dr. Baumia when he stated
he was challenged.
The dollar debt at the time it was taken.
Motum is the Minister of Finance statement.
No problem. Yet Kroma. Now President Mahama at the time of our campaign in 2007-2008 to be vice president of this country. Okay, Chagana for there. Anybody opt out infrastructure development as achievement Biano is engaging in an exercise in mediocrity. Because every government or a road, every government does hospitals, every government builds educational institutions. Okay. What part catch a Ghana for the Nana do obey only classroom block 1 pool. only 1 kilometer of road. He hasn't built any hospital in this country. Into my content analysis. I'm not interested. Yes, because it's a responsibility of government.
To do it.
Okay? In any event, promises are him in they make it to Ghanaians in 2008, in 2012, never fail. How many? Were you lying to the people of Ghana when you were in opposition and canvassing for their votes, telling them that about one-term insurance premium payment? I don't think they that.
The reality changed the situation.
Absolutely, because look, your intent may be sincere,
But
genuine, but about who they look, one-term premium, no, practically impossible. But you are quick to call everybody a liar. Them politics, no, then you are challenging. Our opposition, CCR. I'm sure you guys are working on your manifesto. Indeed, 2008 manifesto. My challenge one that one proof to Ghana for the watch even 30% of it. 2016 2012 manifesto. Imani why a study be that they achieved only 52%. So the 48% of the promises that you did not achieve were they lies? Maybe so.
it can be.
So why? Look, in spite of all, there's no content analysis na Ridge Hospital and on President Muslim 4 years on Obe Wanyahe.
Oh, yeah, man, no, because I bring you into. If I want to my corner,
do the content.
Oh, I can do it.
And let's see a 4-year term, first term of government, because many of the projects are second term in now were things that had been arranged, negotiated, discussed in the term of President Mahama, President Musa, on manifesting into honesty in a Ghana for in their own wisdom. Why shall one would know? 8 years they would be sufficient enough to mark any government in terms of new programs about we deliver. You have an 8-year record. And so, yeah, then you want to compare 2 years. Now, let's compare President.
Ghana force here,
No. I said in their own wisdom, whether deliberately or not, I don't know. But if you
is
look
that the
at
case?
No, it may not be.
Yeah.
It may not be.
Okay.
But the practical situation is that since the commencement of 1992 Constitution,
It's becoming somewhere like
absolutely, because that is sufficient time. But this government has done significantly well in these past 2 years. It's a matter of fact. As the IMF, look, until they may provide them contrary proof there, the IMF's indication that we run a budget cycle was false. Don't even let's go there on that conversation.
How?
Let's not.
How?
But the explanations were given that look, in any event, about no necessity the requirement for an extension. Because you have failed in meeting all the benchmarks as a government. Now, because state responsibility under the extended credit facility arrangement require that whether it's NPP or NDC government, you would have to meet the requirements under the contract that you have signed. It became necessary that this government had to extend it for a year. This is a matter of fact. Okay, because if they exited at the time when all the benchmarks that you were supposed to have worked to achieve, that you failed to achieve, was still there, this country's economy would have gone into tatters. And it was responsible on this government's part to extend it to ensure that all the benchmarks are met. So let's not kid ourselves. IMF, yes, Ghana has been there before. But what is the circumstances of IMF? It is bad management policy, bad economic management. And I can say an ambition that you feel is what will compel us to go there. You have the policy credibility and provided with some support in terms of finance, of course. So if the disbursement period are assigning on to you didn't exhaust all of it. Now they have done a review and they needed to provide financing to under the contract. Why not? We were sticking to the obligations that you are going to sign on. So he didn't want us to get the benefit of what you signed on to another. And I'm a former kid, okay. meet the obligations, but they were not going to provide the financial support. It had to come. But we have indicated, and the president has given a definitive timeline, that look, we are working to move this country out of aid within a 10-year, within a decade. Mark Adamasemi, look, nation building on your event or a process. And Abanibi Asoba, look, it's easy to build. It's easy.
It's easy.
Easy. Borrow and build. Easy. If you have the credibility to borrow and build. Easy. But is that all there is to it?
No.
So it's important. And that's why
proper management is
absolutely. Key. And look at the track record. Look at this government's track record. That's the economic performance, all the indicators or a paper, and it's well reflecting. If we don't fix data, I work well for policy credibility. How are you going to build on that? How can you build on nothing?
So you are fixing it
absolutely
to ensure proper management.
You've hit the nail right on the head. And all the reviews, all the IMF reviews clearly show to a government that has managed this economy well. And Missy, 2020, I've said that, I'll repeat it here. What's the message? I'm telling you. Now, what message happening? What's your message? In fact, 2016 was when you message was slogan.
2020 we go.
20
we go show now.
We go show no only message. They don't have a message. What message are the infrastructure? You will see infrastructure projects this year.
This year.
Oh, you for when not to form the bomb. Message by the end of December 2020.
Yeah.
When we are going to the ballot box, we will show Ghanaians commensurate infrastructure and added benefit. Game changer, no proper economic management.
Okay.
Nobody distinguish here between them. What are we talking about?
Sabio, Nana Akufo-Addo, I know Nyaba Kwasimbiara. There were a man paying on Punya message was a bit shaking. Or not, Nyaba, I do the Bayani manifesto. Promises Akasa, only do to mean the zone was a bit shaking. My Ghana Fuji too. Now, President Mama, on why you bid that. Champagne you foresee. You power you bid our friend and I your boyfriend. On why you bid that. In time catch and pa. My 10 minutes near has sector by sector. So when if you studio they have no record.
You collapse most of our sectors.
Masa, aba setting you collapse.
Agric.
Oh, when I catch you.
Oh,
say, mechanic in action. You see, I'm a mutumra, Michisi. Menkasa keke. Messi. Omana, what bay and anado on your president that onya bakos Biako, your message by catch Ghana for. Now, Obia on why man penina. Why you be that? You to me friend, I have one from your message in my country. Eba Bema, we are Zen Magana for one who be what would to look when
you're in government. This place was paradise.
No, in your paradise. So the catch the one. Until I'm going to be that cushion, if that cushion, the Bema ye. You are working on it. Now we're sleeping on it. You were sleeping. Eba fuel or 18 cities and I 24 cities. Oh,
when you came, how much was it? No, do that proper comparison. However, government in 2009 the petrol.
Yeah, check trend into the job.
We'll do 12 cities. We'll do 14.
No, we'll do that analysis.
Please.
So keep your cool.
Messi, Eba. There's a May 15, 2015 post that Dr. Bamiaye also an increase in fuel price is insensitive on the part of government. In government, you have been the most insensitive in terms of fuel price adjustments. Until I make a sure there, say it's your perconama. Into Moncono was the perconama.
The same percona.
That's all. Into make a German, a war position it's you. Oh, yeah, found what no bawatum, never abema about to find one boom. So you are ultra insensitive for doing that. Into Mekan Chagana for there, and this 1 year too. They will vote against you because Ibeza pushes the children wonder how by in yet. Other than China, also, President Mama Kade building infrastructure is an exercise in mediocrity. Also, a comparison of records is an exercise in mediocrity because in a Jake Obechebilamtia, and one campaign manager in 2008, we threw a challenge to end this the year comparison of record. And on Mpensenpensenmu to whom more is given, more is expected. On Mpensenpensenmu, but on the count there. But if it is a comparison of record the MPP wants, we are ready. Until work won't quote in fully. But at the counter and the work one if you when you're there, when you're there one on swing It is way below average. Now, I say infrastructure or your banner sudi or your responsibility. Sabio or my him in Bibi or Abembi or your nasudia. Of course, when you're not a banner sudi there or Boshama, invisible forces for workers on national security for our Brogana for on your banner sudi. But input to you may baby or was oh, Mamma, yes, but I sudi there $2.25 billion dollars over done in Quanta.
What second? What United States of America said one best.
Metro Mass, Premise, Ewisam, Ghana Maritime Authority, Ghana Cylinder Manufacturer, Ninga and Sama, Wesiwa, or Mampina Kufado, and Apenodo, or a Nasudi.
Let's not table this because
it's a member. I know
a lot of tables.
It's a BBI, Bambia, or a Nasudi. 3 years or Mampina Akufado Nasudi. It's the man as on Mampini Mama, Osi, or ye radio stores or a Nasudi. But why ye? Messi, Famaya and bet him. That's all. It's you as oh. One waba bemu 2 years pay. O my in Tiana Nangas okay. Then 1 2 years, no years in here 8 years.
That has been the argument.
Now it is your point out to me 8 years also 2 years pay. Until you are oscillating. One lawyers was it you can't approbate and reprobate. What in one breath is 2 years and oscillating.
There's the original if
But the 2 years in you had the better also you're more 4 years in Nara. No my name, share or my penny mama, Ghana for man 4 years. Or yeah, president for 4 years.
Okay, na you could try.
Okay,
all right. You better turn come as well. Well, we're back. We're wrapping up here. You better lucky about fascinating Excellence Boutique, St. Andrews College of Healthcare, Susie Herbal, Forever Construction and Consultancy Company. Yeah, that one and then sad one to my very good friend, Group Chief Executive, Zuka Group of Companies, Wasi, and a da for me, Oye, Ernestina, Alandu, and Mrs. Nemami, the late Mrs. Coletti, Esther Alandu, dear friend and mama. Nyamea Adom on the 6th of April, there was St. Paul's Cathedral Parish Hall, Techiman, and Yakope Omame, the Krabia, Nasi Sum Neofusum in the Honebeno. Now, for Yinan Casa, the St. Paul's JHS Park, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So, Ernestina Alandu, Mrs. One Ura, Ayakobi, and Nim, Yako, Yababi, Taimochi, Ama Bibi Timako. In wrapping up, my man shall say with honorable best.
Maybe an uncle about. Now, can't one thing. Okay, or can be far.
Minutes.
Yes, just a minute. Or just quotation. One, or can be far. Ghana for one adventure, and I can't offer was a Sabbath. Also, one will be 8 years. In your present, Mamma, 1 4 years, sir. Or my present, Mamma 4 years.
That's what I'm saying, sir.
But in your man, remember, or my penina Kufado Nankasa. Oh, yeah, 17th May 2016. Ojina Accra, I know, or address conference be a Conrad Adenauer Foundation, where you're my MPP for. No, I didn't say me too. Now, Mama will just quotation. I say, no second term for non-performing president. No second term for non-performing president. Inti, ye guarantee biara. The Benjamin Penina, benya second term. Especially at a time I won't modern months when you are the president Akufado. Finally, us Imani. We rate in here manifesto performance. We mine 51%. Them in 2015. Why we in Mankasa me contact man am catch on the one far in them PIA na nka because no won. Inti Mankasa me supply one information. Then we hu na they will give us a higher rating. But me find the 51% what mine. And that was within our 3rd year of President Mama ne administration. Because it was based on 2012 manifesto na wa assessing. Now one manifesto 2016. Why 280 promises? Now, President and Vice President Ankasa, in your 3rd year, would you not abenim? What's it? We fulfill 41. 41 a striker or your 14.1% performance. Now, sub your performance, what did it mean? What the KG second term? It's President Mama, President Akufo na some more can there. No second term for non-performing president. Or ya obedinara. Because BB actually, then a modern one so anyway. It's your one chow. What to me would that in the opposition was the winning power. Man there, Ghana for you who there, that means some more can no yellow card. 1 2 more Fakushi Bium in winning second term because this time the Ghana for when you are told man. They will be held to account strictly on the basis of what promise our year. I feel Oshasi and last year Shasi on my opinion Dr. Badwam and the Wubutu 570 dams Well, Northern Upper East.
They
Upper
have
West
2 years, 7 months more.
No, what's the Muffin? That year, 2018.
But mandate, they have 2 years, 7 months.
Remember, men cut the 4 years. One cut the 570 in 4 years. Meaning that there are thousands of villages for 3, and that is why 5 Northern regions. But 2018, Nankasa March, Ossi, they will construct 570 dams in 2018 alone. You will March 2019. I hear a way to what we.
Let's wrap up.
On to mankind show because 1 year.
You see, a 8-year term no may relate into individuals.
Yeah, parties.
Individual.
No.
Individual.
But you can't speak for me. You can speak for yourself only.
No problem.
Must say Ghana for maybe because of one evaluation there. 4 years may not necessarily be enough on internet between 1992 to date. On my party be 8 years. I mean, I'm hoping that Obama MPP 8 years. My hope is that they will give MPP more than 20 years. Because I hear baby ma President Kufuor Ochichir Ghana de Kudri. At the time, I be abandoning banks. No, we're chasing Kofu for credit. Okay. They took us back 10 years, 20 years behind. But you see, say, it's as if to say we just came from Mars. We didn't live under their government. You put us in darkness for 5 solid years. 5.
Oh, yeah, no crap.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, 2013 to 2015. It's not 5 years. Oh, yeah, 3 years.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, baby, Nancy, I had to do so, man.
You see, no, I don't have a problem. It's not your pilots, yeah.
You'll be a
pilots. Because you want to take us back to
one guy will control one for us.
And then you go to pilots.
And I want to be you also 1 year. Why am I saying that?
You see, Omani, you put us in darkness for 5 solid years. What do you have? Not surprising. Change up Mr. Mahama also Ghana for your short memory. Okay. It's here free.
Yeah, free promise away.
But you see, no, I don't have a problem.
Yeah, free.
Mr. Felix. You promised the people of Ghana several commitments that you made in 2008. Show me 30%.
Oh, yeah, more. You achieved 70%.
Remember, I don't have a problem. Oh, Masa. Me, you'll be out. I was many problem that Ghana for hold the account in terms of young promise they make in 2016. Because we just see the Ontoma 2020 election.